Well, welcome back, everyone. Time for Papa's comic books and coffee. Okay, let's see who we have today. Dun, 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 ba-da-boom. It is The Champions, number 6, from 1976, only 25 cents. This is by Tony Isabella and George Tuska. Story here is Mad Dogs and Businessmen. All right, now don't forget, this book and others are available on my eBay page, Papa's-Comic-Books. Hit that sub button, smash the like button, and give me a comment down below. Tell me what you thought. Tell me what you want to hear. If it's in my library, I'll try to get it on for you. Let's see what we have today. The House of Ideas does it again, another magnificent Marvel magazine. Maybe you clowns just formed the Champions, but now Rampage is going to rip your team apart. Uh-oh. I'm talking about extending a needed hand when ordinary people face out of the ordinary problems. With those words, the angel gave purpose to the newly formed Champions. They could also prove to be his last words. Mad Dogs and Businessmen, featuring Rampage, the recession-born supervillain who could be you. Back off, heroes. The Iceman's already seen my first rip through a steel vault, but if you come any closer, you'll get to see what it does to the angel's skull. Thou hast issued thy final threat, mortal. Cool it, big man. That Joker isn't kidding. Shrank. Nice try, Ivan, but it looks like the Olympian's gonna be stubborn, so I'll just have to cool it for him. That wasn't too bright, Sonny. Thou hast struck thine own ally from behind. That's my best friend, with a metal mitt pointed in his profile whiskers. That's enough, both of you. Time is money, heroes, and the seconds you spend arguing could cost the angel his life. I thought that might quiet you down. By all the gods, fair Natasha, this is not the way of the Prince of Power, to turn thus and walk away from an as yet undefeated foe. It's not my way either, Hercules. Iceman. Not to worry, widow. Just be ready to move when I do. And Herc, I'm sorry about the back shot, okay? The matter is already forgotten. The lady sure doesn't ask for the easy ones. I've got to concentrate as never before. Lower my body temperature to near absolute zero. And when I've reached the lowest possible degree of coldness that I could withstand, I've got to spin around and really pour it on. What? That sudden freezing blast forming ice all over my exoskeleton? You always this observant, Chuckles? The young fool. Doesn't he realize I broke out of one of his overgrown ice cubes just minutes ago? But this awful cold, my head is pounding like a triumph affair, and it's getting worse. Thy plan has borne fruit, Natasha. The ice won't hold him for long. But we will be able to get Warren to safety. My brain feels like it's ready to explode. I've got to get out of this ice trap. Stars, yon villain has burst free. Get Warren to the sidelines. I'll delay our playmate with our widow's bite. Tasha, too. She can't handle this bruiser alone, and the Iceman's too exhausted to help. Over here, friend. Don't try to stop me, woman. No, the bite isn't working. Ugh, Ivan! He pushed me out of the way and took those blows himself. There will be payment exacted for this foul deed, mortal. Payment most dear. Arg, even though my protective costume has still felt that punch, I must have been mad to challenge such power, but I can't surrender to them. I may have killed that man who ran between the widow and myself. I've already lost my dream. I won't lose my freedom, too. Maybe this will hold Hercules off long enough for me to escape. By the shattering shafts of Apollo, the earthly conveyance doth rush at me with a speed that doth rival Hermes' own. But I am sworn to avenge the loyal friend who hath been most cowardly struck down. And I will not be deterred from that vengeance. But when the smoke has cleared, Stygian heroes, the base villain hath fled. But not far, man, God. No, not far at all. The Iceman really fouled up this suit's boot jets. There was barely enough power to carry me to the rooftop. Considering the landing I made, it's a good thing I chose the lunch hour to rob that bank. At least nobody's likely to notice the hole in the ceiling for a few minutes. And that should be all the time I need to make my escape. The entire bank robbery thing was the scheme of a madman. Well, maybe that is what Stuart Clark has become, a madman, but with the help of his own crate. I can write a finish to the criminal portion of my slow journey into oblivion. A costume bank robber wouldn't stand a chance of getting past the police that have undoubtedly gathered below. But nobody's going to give a second glance to an ordinary workman. And when he reaches the street, Rampage's reasoning proves to be correct. Yet even where he garbed in full battle regalia, the champions would scarce notice him. In their concern over the fallen Ivan. Many see Ivan as merely the Black Widow's driver, but methinks the bond betwixt them far stronger. That's how I rate it too, Herc. You've got to save him, Doctor, and no matter what the expense, Widow, the champions take care of their own. Looks like Los Angeles has herself a superhero team, now backed by the Worthington fortune, no less. We'll do everything we can, Madam Romanoff. I can't minimize the seriousness of his injury, though, but he is alive, and he is a fighter. Beyond that, it's in the hands of God. I don't know who that armored scum was, but I'll still track him down for this, and if Ivan dies, the world will learn just how deadly the Black Widow can be. What good will that do Ivan, lady? We'll get that character, don't worry about that, but we'll get him to make sure he doesn't hurt anyone else. We're the champions, not the Avengers. You're playing semantics with me, Warren, but I suppose you're right. Bloodshed won't solve anything. Hercules does not deny the courage-winged one, but it would be unseemly for the son of Zeus to follow the commands of a callow youth. You know he's right, Widow. Not me, pal. I haven't got the experience to command a Boy Scout troop. Pay attention, Frosty. I'm about to be right for a record second time. We got our tails kicked just half because we all went off half-cocked without planning our attack. People, the champions need a leader. No, I was thinking about in terms of the Black Widow. What, are you serious, Warren? Look at the way you took command during our battle with Pluto, Natasha. You've got to know how to lead us. I'm convinced of that. What do you say, Hercules? By my beard, Angel, I say aye. There be no quest Hercules would not dare for a leader such as this. How about you, Iceman? It's fine with me, lady. I'm probably a better spear carrier than a general anyway. Why should I care who leads the group? As soon as the champions are running smoothly, the Iceman is going into retirement. It's time for Bobby Drake to chuck the superhero trip and start thinking about his future. I don't think the Ghost Riddler Ghost Rider will object. Widow, so I guess you're in. He's much too busy in Ghost Rider 18 on sale, even if we speak, Marv. Our first stop is in the hospital. Check once. We'll see Ivan's okay. We will find the villain who did him injury, and then, my friends, there shall be a reckoning. But between the present and the hour that the inevitable reckoning, there must be passed several hours and a most fateful edition of 6 o'clock news. Rampage is the name the police have given the armored marauder who attempted to rob the First Federal Bank early this afternoon, only to be stopped by the group called the Superheroes, who have apparently made Los Angeles their home. Rampage escaped from the scene of the crime, however, and police have issued an all-points bulletin for my ex-client, Stuart Clark. He once showed me sketches of the exoskeleton he's wearing. So that's how the hotshot scientist intended to pay back his creditors? Well, a call to the police will pay him back for firing me this morning. Never let it be said that Amos Crawley isn't a public-spirited attorney. Clark Futuristics. Call it a dream. Gone bust. Just one more insignificant victim of the recession. Stuart Clark had poured his soul into a vision of the future, only to see that the vision destroyed inflation, unfair competition, and a dozen other factors beyond his control. The dream dies slowly. The dreamer faces bankruptcy and imprisonment. Sing a sad song for the dream gone bust. And add a refrain for the dreamer. I've been lucky so far, but I'd better take this rig apart before. Clark, this is the police. Good Lord. We know you're in there, Mr. Clark. Come out with your hands up. Make it easy on yourself. Your laboratory is surrounded. You can't escape. I can't let them put me in prison. But I can't fight half the police force either, and my boot jets are too damaged to fly to safety. Unless there's been no response from the inside, sir. Should we break in? Blast. I hate to do it this way, but I guess we don't really have much choice. Connors, tell the men to go in. Hold it, guys. I think I heard something in there, like an engine being warmed up. No, I don't realize they'd be standing near that door. Chris, I thought the experimental ionic jetpack would get me to safety without forcing me to harm anyone. But now, I may have made me a murderer twice over. Oh, no. There's only a small amount of fuel in this thing. I'll have to land within minutes. And if I have killed that officer, I don't stand a chance of getting out of the city alive. Quick cut to UCLA Medical Center. Then the valiant Ivan will recover. The doctors say he was lucky, Hercules. It's as if Rampage pulled his punches at the very last second. And just outside Ivan's room, it's a good thing the widow stationed me near a radio. We're going to get a second crack at Rampage sooner than we figured. He and the police have been running a battle. Or have a running battle. Down Hollywood Boulevard. My God, it's like a battlefield. How long can I hold them off by throwing these hunks of concrete? How long before I accidentally kill again? There are no answers to Stuart Clark's unvoiced questions, only to the seeming threat he poses. They are, of course, the wrong answers, but those who give them have no way of knowing this. You leave me alone. Why won't you leave me alone? I don't want to kill anybody else. Can you beat that? He thinks we're just going to let him walk away after he nearly killed Connors. Still, there's something about his voice. Maybe he's not as dangerous as they say. Better speed up your psychoanalysis, Dunn, because that clown's number just came up. Here come the champions. There's our pigeon group. You lead the attack, Warren. Aye, Angel. And make goodly use of the golden mace thou dost wield. It was fashioned by Hephaestus himself in the sacred forge of Olympus. Nice going, Herc. You found the perfect gift for the mutant who has everything. Poor. I'm not Frostbite, but at least I believe in sharing the wealth. I owed you that one, Rampage. But we can end this battle right here if you'll surrender to the authorities. I just wanted to slip quietly out of town. But if I have to, I'll fight my way out. Bad move, mister. And you would have to be a lot faster than that to catch the Angel anyway. Even if I weren't backed up by the Iceman. Ice daggers. Keep up the barrage, Iceman. Hey, I'm not exactly new at this, you know. I'll muddle through somehow. Perhaps I am overplaying this leader role. I better concentrate on my part of our attack and strike as only the Black Widow can. What the devil? All right, heroes, I didn't want this, but if you're going to be treated like a supervillain, then I'll act like that part, and I'll be the deadliest menace the world has ever seen. Come on, Hercules. I've knocked you down twice before. A third time shouldn't be too difficult to manage. Hercules, this deemed thou mad when first we two clashed mortal. But mad or no, thou must be stopped. Give it up, man. You've already lost. Listen to them. You've been lucky so far. Both chauffeur and the policeman will recover. The courts will be... I have no desire to harm thee further. The courts will put me behind bars. And I'd sooner die than spend most of my life in a prison cell. Heads up, champs. He's making his move. For all the good it'll do him. The suit's power is failing. I can't keep my balance. Ooh, Spider-Man likes Twinkies. You had your chance to come peacefully, Rampage. You should have taken it. Now we're going to do it the hard way. Ugh. The suit's components are burning out. It can't stand much more of this punishment. If I can just squeeze a few more seconds out of flight out of the jetpack. Sorry, pal, nobody violates my airspace. Stay out of the reach of those armored fists, Winged One. Hercules shall end the unfair battle with the least possible delay. Arg! Patoo! I'm finished. The jetpack is hopelessly smashed, but there's still some fuel left in it. And, like I told them, I'd rather die than go to prison. Hit the deck, people! The dream is over. The future Stuart Clark ends. With a bang and a whimper. Or does it? Were you in time? I covered both him and us with ice shields, but he was so close to the blast. Yeah, for he's badly injured, but he's breathing. You saved him. Yeah, for what? So he can maybe spend the rest of his life in a slammer or some asylum? He's alive, Iceman. You gave him that much. Come on, team, let's go home. So he's still alive, He never had a chance to alter my power of attorney status in regard to Clark's futuristics. If I move fast enough, I can sell the company and make a tidy fee for myself. My, what a pleasant evening this has turned out to be. That was The Champions, number 6, 25 cents from back in 1976. Now don't forget, this book and others are available on my eBay page, Pappas-Comic-Books. Hit that subscribe button, give me a like. Tell me in the comments what you want to hear. If I have it in my library, I'll be sure to put it on. And as I always say,
that was easy.
Until next time, Papa is out.